Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin. Kyle will point at himself. That's who he is. We always like to say thanks for stopping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just a quick little recap. Yesterday we gave you a full point per reception mock draft. I don't want to do the full point PPR.
Yeah.
Very
don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Seriously. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
But so today we're going to mix it up just a little bit. We're going to do a 10 team.
A little bit. This is a good mix. This is a good mix.
Bear with me here. So a 10-team league, 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. And then we start to get a little crazy. We're going to do a regular flex, wide receiver, running back, tight end. And then we're going to do a super flex. So that means QB, wide receiver, running back, tight end that you can slot into there.
Yep. Defense,
kicker, 5 bench players. I'm really excited to try this one out. We're going to mix it up a little bit for you guys, and let's see what kind of teams we can draft here.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, what you got?
Hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the bell so you're notified every time we upload the best fantasy football podcast on the internet. And guys, look, the channel's growing. We're getting excited about it. That's a lot of fun. Make sure you're hitting it. Look, we're going to be putting this sort of content together all season. We're going to hit you with all that deep upside knowledge. We're doing some mocks to get you ready for the draft season right now. And we've got a whole mock series that we've done. So I'll link that podcast, or I'm sorry, not that podcast, but I'll link that playlist right up there for you to go ahead and click on so you can run through a few of them. We've done a few different things. All of them are fairly recent, so you're going to be able to see with the new information or relevant information right now, it's all pretty much the same. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so we can get this thing rolling. Let me find
Go ahead and do that. And while you're doing that, I mean, we get to see the analytics on our stuff, and we still see a lot of people watching our stuff that are not subscribed. So just do us a quick favor while we're waiting for just a second. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Do it. Hit the bell so you know whenever we we'll notify you whenever we upload. And that's Monday through Friday whenever we're uploading. It's usually right around 11:30 Eastern time, so you can kind of count on us. You know, if you're waiting for us to wake you up, if you're a college student or something like that, you're not getting up till 11:30.
All right, I'm still in the 5th slot here, and you're in the 8th spot. So we're not going to be sniping each other, but let's see here. So what do you think is going to happen here? It's got 7 seconds. What do you think is going to happen? You think QBs go off the board 1, 2?
QBs are going to go off the board pretty quick, but only the first 2 QBs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Dak may go, but he may not. Yeah.
Oh,
he didn't go.
Jackson almost fell all the way to me, but we've got a couple options here. Okay, so Dak is available here at the 5th spot, but so is Saquon Barkley. I don't know. I'm kind of torn here because I think that Dak Prescott could be QB1 this year.
And this was a standard scoring, correct?
This is standard scoring. Yeah, there is no point per reception on this one. But it's just too good to pass up. I've got to take Saquon.
Yeah, that's
here. I just have to.
Freaking good.
Yeah. Look, the separation between running back 1, running back 12 is dramatically more than QB1 and QB12 over the last 20 years, basically.
Right.
And so Saquon is the guy I've got to go with here. And then there you go. You've got Dak available to you, but you also have Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook available to you too.
I do. But seems as though this is a super flex league, and we've talked a lot about Cowboys love, and I mean Dak Prescott, I think he finished as a 3rd quarterback last year. Yeah, and I feel like there's no reason to think that that's going to slow down, especially in the Mike McCarthy offense. I mean, I'm listening to you because you're the Green Bay Packers. You can point at your little thingy back there, and you've lived through Mike McCarthy offense for many years. And Aaron Rodgers was a stud, but he also was able to produce like a stud for many years under Mike McCarthy. So, you know what? Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and take Dak Prescott.
In the back of a 10-team super flex, I don't think taking Dak Prescott there is a terrible.
No, how the heck is this available?
Alvin Kamara
is still available in the 2nd round right here. Granted,
this is wait. Okay, so wait 1 second. This is one of those situations where you got to run really quickly to like RotoWire or something like that, just to double check that he didn't just like lose his leg. That's one of those situations.
Say, this was what I was listening to somebody say this. I think it was Dan Patrick. I'm a huge Dan Patrick Show fan. And they mentioned this, that Alvin Kamara was like on like with a beat writer or something like that, and he said something like he tore his knee in week 6 and played through it. What does that really mean? He tore his knee.
Well, they wouldn't have let him play with a ligament, but he could have had a torn meniscus and continued to play. It depends on the type of tear.
I mean, that's why I got him down as kind of a bounce back player because he finished, I think, as the 18th best running back. He is not an 18th best running back. He is a top 5 running back.
All right. I was kind of hoping that Deshaun Watson or Devontae Adams would have fallen to me right there.
And of course, those were the two.
That's of course what happens.
You're probably not going Nick Chubb because we've talked.
I'm not going Nick Chubb. I don't like Mixon either, but I do have Hill and Jones here available.
Ooh.
And that's a really nice opportunity. Yeah. I like Tyreek Hill though in the second round here.
Oh yeah.
I do like Julio Jones a lot, but I have concerns about just whether or not he's going to still be the number 1 wide receiver on that team at the end of the year. There are a couple guys I like down the board. Obviously, Godwin's pretty good there, and DeAndre Hopkins and Galladay are hiding down there. Let's just double check the running back situation. And the QB situation, I'm just going to go ahead and go with Hill here.
Yeah, that's a
QB
really
would
good
be
pick.
something I would really be considering right now, but you can fade QB through the first 2 rounds in a Superflex. It is entirely possible and be fine. Like I said before, you just have to be aware of where that break occurs, where the difference between the play level really is. At this point, I think Wentz is probably one of the better ones available. You got Breeze, you got Stafford. There's a few guys here. We know Justin's going to pick twice before we get to pick again. He's probably going to take another QB or something.
I'll probably snake whatever you're thinking.
Yeah, whatever I'm thinking. Yeah. And actually, I'm gonna throw a wrench here. I'm gonna kind of go in a different direction.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. And where is it? This is interesting. Where did he go? All right. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm thinking.
You got 12 seconds.
Yeah. I'm thinking of going with. I'm going to go with Mr. TD himself, Kenny Galladay.
Okay.
You want Hopkins really bad, don't you?
No, because I wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And are
you going to with that?
I didn't know DeAndre Hopkins was still going to be available though in the 3rd round. I was so going forward to be like, you know what? I can pick my boy George Kittle because I haven't done it in any of our mock drafts and just kind of mix it up a little bit. To kind of see how that would look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kelsey just went off the board, so it's not.
He did. Yeah, it's not too far-fetched. And George Kittle is a number 5 strength of schedule. And, everybody really knows my love for George Kittle, but I have a love for the guy and the player. For fantasy, it's just really tough because of how much it's going to cost you. But towards the end of the 3rd round, you know what? Let's just see what happens. This is why we kind of do these mock drafts. We kind of get an idea of what could end up falling back. And holy crap, how is this possible?
Oh my gosh, DeAndre Hopkins is still available in the 4th round.
So this is kind of it'll be tough for you to kind of bet on something like this. That's very hard to do. But
when you're picking with real people, that's probably not going to happen.
It can be, though. It depends on your league. You just never know.
I don't foresee Allen Robinson and Calvin Ridley going ahead of DeAndre Hopkins in any league with humans. I just don't.
But you know what? We're drafting against Kyle and the computers. So let's just go ahead and pick up DeAndre Hopkins. And Mike Evans is still available, too.
Yeah. So we're going to go and grab our first QB, and we're going to stack right off the bat. We're going to stack Kenny Galladay with Matthew Stafford. This is right where I was just like,
that's like
please,
your favorite.
Please don't do that.
There.
Yeah. Oh, it's giving me a slight reach. What you need to understand is that Fantasy Pros does not understand 2 QB leagues entirely, guys. It just doesn't. All right, coming back around.
They still don't really love Matthew Stafford like we do.
No.
All signs are pointing upward when it comes to Matthew Stafford. He was on the COVID list. He's off the COVID list. And there hasn't been any blips on the
It was a false positive, actually, is what it turned out to be.
So
if you've seen any of the news, it was a false positive.
Yeah.
All right, so running back is kind of where I'm leaning, but man, wide receivers looking really nice. But you know what? I'm going to have to pair up, I think, on running back here finally. And
have you drafted one yet?
I got Saquon right at the top. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But, there's DJ Moore is there. Oh, that's tempting. That would be crazy to have Tyreek and Kenny Galladay and then DJ Moore. That would be pretty good.
I wouldn't say no to that.
I think you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, just kind of spice it up a little bit. Live a little spicy. See what happens. That's where I'm going.
Live a little.
Yeah.
Live a little.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what I got here. So my roster, I got Dak Prescott, Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Hopkins, George Kittle, who all four of them could potentially finish as the best player in their respective positions.
Could.
So let's see here. Not going Mark Andrews, not going Tom Brady, Todd Gurley, Robert Woods. I'm actually feeling kind of Robert Woods in this. I mean, we both really like Robert Woods, especially this year. I mean,
he's got a good volume.
Solid.
Yeah.
He's just a solid pick. And you know what? I feel like, we still have Todd Gurley, Leonard Fournette, and some other running backs I could still potentially take as we come back around. And let's just go ahead and Robert Woods and see what does come back around. And, we were just talking about what come back around, and Todd Gurley is still available.
There you go.
Yeah, guess what? I'm not picking Rams back-to-back because, Todd Gurley is with the Atlanta Falcons, and that is a high-powered offense. He's going to be catching some balls out of the backfield, and he's also going to be running. So they only signed him to a one-year deal. They're going to get, they're going to get their investment back. They're going to try, that's for sure. So let's just go ahead and pick Todd Gurley and keep it moving.
There you go. All right.
Cooper Kupp still available.
Yeah, but I'm leaning towards I'm set at wide receiver right now. I've got to shore up the running back position more than anything. I would have liked to have seen David Johnson fall to me there. That's one guy I would have liked to have seen make it. Melvin Gordon got jumped there for that. And I'm eyeing a few. I like in the sixth round. I don't I don't mind Le'Veon Bell. It's not great. It's not ideal. It's not what I would exactly want. And I'm not going there, but I don't mind him. That's where I start considering him. It kind of depends. But I'm actually going to go with Melvin Gordon. We were talking about this in our last mock that we actually think they're going to start pushing more in that direction towards the run game, just because that's how they operated when they had Peyton Manning and that solid defense.
Let's take some pressure off of Drew Lock. I mean, he's still going into his second season, and he didn't start until the last bit of it because he had a hurt wrist for most of the season. So, why are you going to hand the keys over and just say, hey, throw the heck out of the ball? No, they're going to want to go through the run offense.
Yeah. So at QB here, I feel like it's been a little bit more aggressive than probably would normally be the case in a Superflex league with QB.
Yeah.
I think that's why we've seen a few of the guys fall. There's a couple guys I do like here. I'm a little bit concerned about Daniel Jones at this spot as my QB2. I do like Baker a little bit. I think that he's got all the right opportunities. And then there's Ryan Tannehill, who's very serviceable. He was solid in the second half of last year. I think where I'm going to go actually is going to be with Baker here. So now in Superflex leagues, guys, you do want to make sure that you get two starter QBs, and you do have to pick them a lot earlier than you think you need to. I would say that it is possible and okay to pick in the first round, depending on what you're trying to do. A QB, but if you pick a QB in the first round, hold off for a couple rounds. Then, I probably held off a little bit too long, maybe, but I don't feel like it's a terrible situation where I am.
No, and when it comes to me, I still need to draft a second quarterback, but I feel like it might come back around, and I still might have the options of Daniel Jones, Jared Goff, Ryan Tannehill, Joe Burrow, or even Gardner Minshew. I still should have availability, but I want to actually fill out my wide receiver roster, and we're in the 7th round, and DJ Chark is still available.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and draft him, and then let's see what comes back around.
You got to remember this is a 10 team, and so there's going to be a lot of guys available later than you think. So this kind of spices it up, not just because we're doing the Superflex, which increases the value of the QB position, especially your QB2, but it also and because it's also 6 points per touchdown passing. But it also pushes guys later. So you can grab other guys earlier for positions of necessity and then wait on the depth positions a little bit more.
Yep. So when it comes back around to me, I actually like we've talked about Jared Goff this year.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be playing from behind a little bit more than maybe even more past seasons. And that just means more garbage time, and that means more him throwing the ball. And I think I have Robert Woods on my team. And hey, we can do a
There you go.
little mini stack,
Yeah.
little something something. So let's go ahead and draft Jared Goff. And hey, it says I got a value pick, Kyle.
There you go.
It's liking
there
me.
you go. Yeah. Well, you should be getting value picks. It's a 10 team.
Hey,
Right?
let
We
me
should
have
be
this,
getting
Kyle.
some. Oh, well,
Let me have this, please.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So there's a few
David Montgomery's
possibilities
still
here.
available,
Yeah,
Kyle.
David Montgomery's there. I like that. He's high volume. Raheem Mostert is available too. Those are two that I'm eyeing right now. Kind of torn between the two, and it's a difference of a guy who you
might
know
be able
is
to
the
get
starter
one
who's
and
getting
then get the other one back around. You never know.
Yeah, I think where I'm leaning is to get one, and then I have a different plan for my next pick, actually. And so I think where I'm going to go on this one is actually David Montgomery, just because I can anticipate a volume out of him. Whereas Raheem Mostert, you can't anticipate the volume because it's Kyle Shanahan.
Right.
But you can look at it. You could say he's going to be more explosive, obviously, right? I mean,
right.
So
we saw what he did to the Packers in the playoffs last year.
Yeah. We did. Thank you for reminding us.
Any chance I get.
All right, and then where I'm going right here after that is to ignore Justin and transition out of that is to look at tight end, but we're jumping right back. Nope. 9th round, Michael Gallup. That's where we're going.
9th round.
Yeah, 9th round, Michael
overall
Gallup.
pick was that?
That
ridiculous.
It was like
95th.
No, it was 85th.
85th.
84th.
Yeah.
84th.
That's how math works.
84th. Yes. Subtraction, not addition.
All right. You know what? Let's see what we have on the roster here. Dak Prescott,
85th.
Alvin Kamara, Todd Gurley, DeAndre Hopkins, Robert Wood, DJ Chark, George Kittle, and then Jared Goff in my Superflex. So, truthfully, let's just look at some value here. And it has Kareem Hunt as like the top suggestion, followed by Joe Burrow. No, that doesn't make any sense. Followed by Jarvis Landry. I kind of like Jarvis Landry, but we're not in a PPR league. Jordan Howard. It's actually really down to, for me, Kareem Hunt or Marvin Jones. And I haven't been able to draft Marvin Jones here lately, so I'm going to go ahead and draft him. We've talked about this. Weeks 1 through 14, he was the 14th best wide receiver, I think, last year. And with a healthy Matthew Stafford, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And, hey, guess what? Kareem Hunt's still available. I would have liked him even more in a PPR league, but Kareem Hunt is still going to be able to give you some standalone value. I mean, you can't ignore what he did when he came back from that 10-game suspension. You know, they're going to try to find different ways to get him on the field. They're probably going to have both him and Nick Chubb on the field at the same time. You're going to see Kareem Hunt in the slot a lot more this year with Jarvis Landry on the other side. So just go ahead and pick him. Let's see what happens.
All right, so let's see what's available. I'm leaning towards running back here. I'm fading the tight end position a tad bit just because it's still, it's an 18 or a 10-team league, and so it's possible to fade it still here. That's not a big problem.
Yeah.
Wide receivers still got some good talent up there. There's some guys that I would like to get that are probably going to be gone. But I feel like what I need to do is grab another running back. I think that by mid-season, J.K. Dobbins is going to have this job, and Marlon Mack's going to lose his probably. Matt Breida would be an interesting pickup, but he's probably more of a third down and change of pace back,
right?
Just out of the gate, I feel like. And then there's a few guys further down the board who I think will be available. So I'm actually going to go with J.K. Dobbins here, and then let's see what comes off the board, because I'm actually curious about a few spots. Yeah. I had like the idea of Kirk Cousins. He was gone one pick before I had a chance to go after him there. But I wasn't planning on taking him, actually. I was still fading him. I could go and grab Phillip Lindsay. That wouldn't be a terrible thing to do, but look, don't grab your own handcuff. Grab other handcuffs. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
High upside handcuffs.
Yeah, grab a handcuff from a different team than one you have.
Don't grab Philip Lindsay, so I could go ahead and grab him here in the next couple picks.
Yeah.
Full transparency here.
Yeah. QB. I feel like I want to grab my third, but I'm actually gonna pass on that, I think, and just go after the wide receiver here again. Maybe no. I'm gonna go ahead and go QB. I'm gonna go get Gardner Minshew, because if this dude blows up again this year, does solid, man. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
That's a good pick. I like Gardner Minshew. I'm actually in a kind of an odd league that just drafted today. It's a 2 QB, 2 tight end league, and it's one of those things where part of it was on auto draft just because of work, and it drafted 1 QB for my backup, and I didn't like it, and Gardner Minshew is still available, so that's definitely my priority number 1 on my waiver wire. But let's see. Did Philip Lindsay make it to me? Yes, it did. So I like Philip Lindsay, and the Broncos seem to like Philip Lindsay. They did bring in Melvin Gordon, but we've talked about this. I feel like they're not going to just hand the keys and be, hey, Drew Lock, just throw the ball. Fire that pigskin. That's just not going to happen just yet. They're going to try to go through the run, and Philip Lindsay's pretty good at catching the ball as well. So I think it's going to be pretty close to a 50-50 timeshare. So I'm going to go ahead and draft.
My problem with Philip Lindsay has been that though he plays and looks really fast, he's only got like 5 real plays. That's my problem with him.
Yeah.
And it feels like teams have figured his game out. I watched a few of his games last year, and it was frustrating watching him in that respect.
Yeah.
So
no,
I don't disagree that he'll get volume. He's just a little undersized for being a volume carrier.
I think a lot of it has to do. I get what you're saying. I think a lot of it has to do with what kind of offense did the Broncos have last year?
Yeah.
There really wasn't anything else besides like, okay, we're gonna have to run the ball, and no, I get it. So right here, I'm back on the clock, just looking at some high upside players, and I'm gonna take a guy that you're gonna be really pissed off about, and I'm really surprised that he's still available at 113th overall, and his name's Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
And we've talked about him a lot, how he could potentially finish as a wide receiver 2 this year in fantasy football. Not just on his team, but in fantasy football, he can finish as a wide receiver 2.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was looking at Deontay Johnson. If he had fallen to me there, I would be considering him, but I'm actually leaning in a different direction right now.
Okay.
There's a couple guys that I'm interested in. And since you don't pick between me and my next pick, I think I could tell you.
You can tell me, because
I do I do like Hayden Hurst, and I also like Christian Kirk here. I like both of those guys. I think.
Do you have a tight end yet?
I do not, and so that's the reason I'm leaning towards Hayden Hurst. I would like to take Kirk, but I'm actually going towards Hayden Hurst.
You might be all right. You might still be able to pick him back around.
I'm guessing that Hayden Hurst is going to be gone. So let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit Christian Kirk, see what happens.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Slowing down here. All right. Tyler Higbee went off the board, and then Evan Ingram, then Rob Gronkowski. I got lucky there, I think.
Yeah.
Drew Lock off the board, and then tight end, we're going back to Hayden Hurst right here. So, yeah. I mean, there's some tight ends down the board that I do like. I wanted to mention earlier that usually I don't advocate picking a third QB you wouldn't want QB depth, right? But we're talking about a Superflex league. And even though it's only 10 team, there are only 32 starters in the league, guys. And so if you can't run to the waiver wire and catch a guy who's going to be starting, you're in trouble. So carrying that third guy is actually kind of recommended. And if your team or your league is more than 10 teams, you absolutely need to carry that third guy, because if you have one guy go down, and this is one of those seasons, if you have one guy go down, you may not want his backup in your lineup. So
so I actually have, to segue into that, I only have 2 QBs, and Derek Carr is still available, so is Sam Darnold, and I'm actually kind of leaning more towards Derek Carr because I actually trust John Gruden more than I trust Mr. Crazy Eyes and Adam Gase. So let's just not Gase this up, and let's go ahead and pick Derek Carr. See what I did there?
Yeah, there you go.
See what
Gase it up.
Gase it up.
Yep, made him a verb. You've reduced him to a verb. Yeah, that means you're funny. All right,
my mom would be so proud.
Yeah.
So right now, truthfully, I mean, I got a couple. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I only got 4 running backs. That's kind of shocking right now. That's something I might need to rectify.
That's all I've got is 4.
That's all you got is 4?
You have to remember, we're picking a Superflex league, and so we're carrying extra QBs as a result. So we're going to be thinner at other spots.
So, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at maybe some high upside running backs, because I do want to go ahead and finish it off, because I do like my wide receivers. And Antonio Gibson's still available. And right now, we're drafting in Fantasy Pros, and they still have him listed as a running back wide receiver. Hey, I like that flexibility. He could be the number 1 running back in the Washington football team.
Yeah. All right. So is it going to put that last pick up there? Finally, it did. Okay. I'm leaning towards running back as well. I'm pretty deep at wide receiver. I'm pretty solid there. I've got 5. I think I've got 4 running backs. And this is my last pick of any merit at this point. And it's kind of a dart throw, but not really. And that's Boston Scott. We saw what he could do last year, and when he was given the opportunity. And so that's where I'm heading right here is a known entity, a known quantity. So that leaves me with a running back group right now that really has a solid chance to put together a good amount of work. I got a couple guys
Kyle, even in a 10-team league, getting him in like 130th some odd overall to get Boston Scott, that's a really good. He's still coming under the radar for some reason. I don't know why, but you know what? Go ahead and make a decision based off someone else's mistakes.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the Ravens here. There's a couple defenses I like as well, but I'm going to go ahead and grab the Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens defenses.
They're going to be pretty solid. So.
Yeah, about that. Let's see here. I did it last time in yesterday's episode. If you haven't checked that out, definitely check it out in the description below. In yesterday's mock, so we always wait till the last couple rounds when it comes to kicker defense. As long as you're not in a weird 2 kicker league or 2 defense league, that's what we recommend, because there's still quite a bit of value. I picked Harrison Butker before I picked a defense. And, I'll just do the same thing because I'm still going to have quite a few options, because I'm just going to be coming right back around. All righty. And that's who I kind of wanted anyways, are the Saints. They're number 6 overall in strength of schedule. Fantasy Pros has them as the number 6 best defense this year. And I feel like this is the same thing. They're still up and coming, man. They're still getting after it. I think we're going to keep improving.
All right, and then
Sanders is still available. Cow.
Yeah, there are 2 kickers that I'm interested in here, and that's Matt Gay and Zane Gonzalez. And I just feel like the team that's going to be kicking more field goals, getting more points on the board is Arizona, actually, in the end. They're just going to run more offense, run more plays, and they're going to have to score a lot of points this year. They're going to be playing from behind a lot. So that's where I'm going, to Arizona. With Zane Gonzalez.
You get him as the 13th bye week as well, which is really nice.
Yeah. All right. Gave me a B+. What did I give you?
Yeah, same. B+.
There you go. Again, it struggles ranking leagues with 2 QBs. It really does. All right. So put us both in the middle of the pack as far as starters, but it put us both overall near the very top. I'm second, you're 4th.
Yep.
And then it puts me second bench. You have the 5th bench. Let's see here. Let's see. The weakest position, it says, is my starting QB, and that's because my first QB is Matt Stafford. And so it ranks me as having like the second worst overall starting QB. And then in the Superflex, it pushes me way down the board because it's, for whatever reason, it's ranking Baker Mayfield behind Cam Newton and Daniel Jones and Jared Goff. I don't necessarily agree with that. But,
do not compute. Do not understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and hit me with your roster overall though for me.
Sure.
Yeah, let's see. Let's hear it.
1 second. I move this screen out of the way so I can see it actually. All right, so it gave me, let's see here. I've got Matt Stafford, Saquon Barkley, Melvin Gordon, Tyreek Hill, Kenny Golladay, DJ Moore, Hayden Hurst, David Montgomery, Baker Mayfield, Baltimore Ravens, Zane Gonzalez, and then my bench is Michael Gallup, Gardner Minshew, J.K. Dobbins, Christian Kirk, and Boston Scott.
A lot of upside on that bench.
Oh,
right
yeah.
there, man.
Yeah.
A lot of upside. So
if I catch on one or two of them, it's solid.
I mean, once again, whenever you get to those double-digit rounds, you're just taking some educated dart throws. And if you're listening to us, those are educated dart throws.
Look, if you come out of your draft winning 6 of your picks, winning 6 of them, then you could very well win your league. I've won on winning less. So
yeah, well, I've seen it. Sadly, yeah.
You were there.
So, sadly, I've seen it quite a bit. So for mine, I have Dak Prescott as my QB, and then Alvin Kamara, Todd Gurley, and then DeAndre Hopkins fell to me. Robert Woods, DJ Chark, George Kittle, Marvin Jones, Jared Goff in my Superflex, New Orleans Saints, Harrison Butker. And for my bench, I got Kareem Hunt, Deontay Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, Derek Carr, Antonio Gibson. Once again, we say this every time, we feel good about drafting this. If that's what we came out with, I mean, there's a reason why we did it. We do try to mix it up a little bit. I took George Kittle a lot earlier than what I would usually take a tight end, but you can kind of see how my roster still filled out and I was still able to put it together.
The smaller that your league is, the more mistakes you can make during the draft.
That's very true.
The more reaches you can have because other guys are still falling.
Yep.
When you start to get into a 12 team and a 14 team, then you're going to start running into problems. There's not as much room for error, and having 2 QBs in a league also makes it more complicated as well in that respect. Not everybody's going to want to play the Superflex or the 2 QB league, and that's fine. It brings up the value of the position a little bit so that it's a little bit more competitive. We've talked before how the difference between QB1 and QB12 is very minuscule in the history of the league. And so as a result, having a 2 QB league, it forces you to consider QB24. And that really is quite different from QB1. So
yes.
Yep. All right, guys. So that is it for us tonight. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as that bell. Hit that bell so you get notified every time we upload.
Smash the thumbs up.
Every time we upload the best fantasy football podcast on the internet. And, if you want to check out, like I said before, if you want to check out some mock drafts, we've got the whole mock draft series that we did. We did a midsummer mock week this year, and that's relatively recent. So some of the information in there is probably extremely relevant.
Mock, yeah.
And we did a whole, mock, yeah. It's a ton of different types of mocks. I think we did one Superflex maybe. I think I did a Superflex in there. We did some other stuff as well. So make sure you check that out. I'm going to go ahead and link that in, drop that up on the screen right now for you so that you can check that out. And you know what? Hey, thank you for being a fan of The Upside. We will see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye.
See you guys.